Hi, my name is Lara Whiteley. For those of you that have not met me before, I work for a small company called Specialty Wines. When I say small, it's real small. There's only like 5 of us, but our portfolio is phenomenal. We have some really great wines, and 3 of which I'm going to share with you today. I know this is a weird time for all of us, so I'm super excited for local companies like Chops and Hops that are being really innovative and creating some awesome options for all of us that are stuck at home or can't go out to eat as normally as we might often do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to briefly take you through these 3 wines, just a brief little introduction so you know what they're about, where they came from, and then we can dive straight into pairings. One thing I do want to point out is, yes, this is 2.5 bottles of wine. This little guy is a half bottle. This guy won't keep after today, so if you enjoy it, expect to drink it this evening. These 2 can last for a few days in the fridge. Yes, even the red. What I would do after storing these in the fridge and you're ready to drink the red tomorrow or the next day, take it out maybe 30 minutes before you want to enjoy it and let it come back down to room temperature and then enjoy. Okay, so a little bit about the wines. Wine number 1 is going to be paired with course 1 and course 2. Yes, it is a Riesling. No, do not panic. It is not going to be super sweet. I really encourage you to taste this wine a few times and to taste it with a few courses. It does have a touch of sweetness to it. It's going to be sitting in that off-dry category, but not sugary sweet by any means. So this is coming out of the Rhine-Hessen region of Germany that you can see over my right shoulder. The wine's going to be vegan. The winemaker takes a very minimal approach here, really lets the land, the grapes themselves speak for themselves, lets the wine speak for itself. Family run and operated. Fritz is actually going to be the winemaker's father. He passed away back in 2017, so this is in homage to him. Wine number 2 is going to be paired with our main course, course 3. This is going to be from Bodega Finca Torremolinos. This is their Monte Castrillo Tinto 2018. Big mouthful, I know. 100% Tempranillo, coming from 100% organic vineyards. So it's a biodynamic Tempranillo. Family run and operated as well, coming out of Ribera del Duero, that you can also see again over my right shoulder. The wine itself sees a little touch of oak, about 20% of it sees some oak treatment, while 80% stays in stainless steel. Last but not least, don't let the can scare you, but drinker beware, this is half of a bottle's worth of wine. I'm really excited about this guy. I'll tell you why in a minute, but this is coming from a fairly serious winery up in New York, Glebe Cellars. This is going to be a second label for them. They do a second labeling of cans, boxes, and kegs, kind of that alternative packaging approach. And so this is going to be Riesling, Muscat, and a variety called Seyval Blanc, which is actually going to be a hybrid. I won't go too far down the rabbit hole, but you can email me if you want to talk a little bit more about hybrids. This wine is also going to be vegan, coming from the North Fork of Long Island. So now let's get to eating, because never trust anyone that keeps you away from your food for too long. Okay, so diving right into the pairings. Whenever you're doing any type of beverage and food pairing, I'm sure you know this, but always take a sip of the wine or beer or spirit first. Check out the wine, see how it tastes, see how it interacts with the palate. Take a few sips to really cleanse the palate, and then you'll move into the actual pairing. So as far as this Riesling is concerned, you get a lot of really nice kind of green notes, green vegetal notes, kind of some fresh grass notes, some citrus as well. Lemon, lime, orange, a touch of some tropical fruit in there. A little bit of pineapple, underripe mango. So that's really good. Pairing with course number 1 is going to be this amazingly beautiful killer mango crab arugula salad with a little bit of red onion. And I think I spotted a cucumber in there somewhere. So the reason that I paired these 2 together is that with arugula, you get a really nice kind of like white pepper note that you can almost pull out in this wine as well. Totally. So you get that pepperiness from the green. You have almost a sweet tropical character from the mango, very similar to what we found in the wine. And then also with seafood, if you think back to every time you get seafood, on your plate, there's probably usually butter, and then there's always lemon. So seafood and citrus is just a beautiful combination. It's eons old. So pairing the Riesling with this is kind of like that fresh squeeze of lemon on top of that grab. So let's see how it works. So for course number 2, this is going to be the harissa herbed goat cheese tartlet. So for me, what I was a little nervous about was the harissa, because that's a Northern African like hot pepper kind of paste and spice that's used. And so when you're pairing wine and food, spiciness can kind of be hard to work with. I mean, it does not do well with oaky wines. It really doesn't do well with high alcohol wines. I mean, later on this week, you should go and get some of the Watkinsville warm to-go wings and like a big glass of Syrah or Cab, and you'll really see what I'm talking about. You'll wish you had more Riesling left. So anyways, backing up, I chose a Riesling to go with that because it has a touch of sweetness to really kind of balance out that spice. And then Riesling literally loves cheese. We have that in common. So it was just kind of a no-brainer just to rock the Riesling for course 1 and course 2. So let's see if it works. Wow. The flavor changes so much in that wine. It almost brings on more of like an orange kind of citrus flavor with the tartlet versus kind of like the green yellow citrus that it had with the salad. So for me personally, so far, 2 killer pairings, really happy with those. So that's going to do it for our Fritz's Riesling. As we move to the main course, which is going to be fried chicken, Riesling's also a good pairing there. So if you have a little left in your glass, check out with the fried chicken and see how it is. So first 2 courses, beautiful, amazing. Again, this next course, if you want to keep rolling with the white, you can. But we are going to move on to our red option, which is going to be the Monte Castrillo Tempranillo. So this is going to be paired with course 3, which is going to be the fried chicken with the lavender blackberry coulis, oh my god, and roasted veggies. So the components I chose from the dish to choose the wine was first and foremost, whenever you're thinking about pairing, you want to think about, is there a sauce? Okay, what's in that sauce? And that's really what you want to base your wine pairing from, as well as some other components, but that's the main kind of high level thing that you should focus on. And so with this having that deep blackberry flavor, I wanted to find something also with some deep fruit aromas and flavors, which is definitely this Tempranillo. I mean, you get blue fruit, black fruit, a lot of earthiness. It's really savory and kind of deep and rich. A little bit of mocha, things like that. And then also the roasted veggies. Whenever you're pairing wine with food, think about how your vegetables are cooked. Are they raw? Are they steamed? In this case, they're roasted. So that offers a depth of flavor, a touch of sweetness to them. So I also felt like a deep kind of supple velvety wine would be good there. And then lastly, with the fried chicken. So with our protein, we're gonna have a lot of fat going on. So something with some good tannin to not too much tannin, but some good tannin to kind of balance out the fat, allow the fat to kind of soften up the tannins and make the wine even more supple than it already is. So, all right, so final course, dessert. If you still have a little of that Tempranillo left in your glass, wow, try it with this, especially that blackberry compote on the top. It pulls the dark cherry note out of the wine, and it really accentuates some spice. And I don't know if it's cinnamon or cardamom or what's really going on, but it really pulls some spice out of that compote there. But what we chose to pair it with is going to be the Bridgeline Bubbles. So having let it be in the glass for a little bit, giving it a good swirl, what you're gonna find is like white peach, lime kind of candy aroma, a little bit of white pear, lemon, things like that. And so I chose to pair it with this wine. I chose to pair it with this dessert, with this course, because the effervescence should really cut through the creaminess of that cheesecake. And then the fruits that we're finding here will almost kind of be an additional sauce on top of the cheesecake, which I really can't wait to dig into, because that looks crazy decadent and super fluffy. So fluffy at first I thought it was a biscuit, and then I quickly realized it was definitely not. All right, so let's see how this works. That is really rich and amazing. It tastes like butter. It really kind of creates an explosion in the mouth. The wine just really bubbles up, cleanses the palate, leaves a little bit of citrusy lime behind. Big fan. And I'm a big fan of any meal that can end into little treats. Yeah, I'm gonna sit here and enjoy the rest of this cheesecake. Whew. That was an amazing meal. Chef Ariel, you absolutely killed it. It was delicious. Thank you so much for sharing that with me. And thank all of you guys for listening to me talk about wine for a little bit. If you really loved any of these wines, you can talk to Andrew and the team at Chops and Hops. They can show you where to find them. I hope you loved all the pairings, or at least you found one that you kind of fell for. Before we sign off, I just want to leave you with something. This is a really weird time that we're in right now, and I really encourage you to think about your purchases at the moment. You know, who are they supporting? This is the time to really support our local farmers, our independent winemakers, our small wineries, and our local restaurants, 1000%, and retail stores. So thank you guys for already doing your part and supporting a small local restaurant. Chops and Hops is quite the staple, and they really killed it with our dinner or lunch or breakfast, whatever you chose to do with it. So thank you guys so much. Cheers. Stay safe and well. Bye.